How you doing today, Ravenheart?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Quantum?
I'm doing great. Well, it's great to have you on the channel today. I'm kind of excited to actually, I guess, kind of interview you and talk a little bit about the content you've been creating for the game and just kind of nerd out a little bit.
Appreciate it. I'm happy to be here myself.
Awesome. Well, I know that it's kind of funny because you've been doing this transmute guide for quite a while. You got the transmute spreadsheet,
Yeah.
and I was joking with you the other day because, like, I guess, did a poor job of looking at other creator content on Guru Guides, but you've had this spreadsheet going for a while. I think you've been streaming a little bit on Twitch here and there. You want to tell us a little bit more about the transmute guide and just kind of like what made you decide to go that route with your content creation?
So it's honestly really funny. I was competing with a guy in my server in terms of being like top dog, right? And I just happened to craft a piece of gear that was level 500 and had a tag. So it just unlocked a transmute. I
Right.
ended up going down a rabbit hole of reading everything about it and just the gears turning in my head for probably about an hour or two. Then I started thinking of different builds and stuff like that to put on certain units and kind of just laughing myself like, oh yeah, what if I just put all dodge on one person? Like what's the dodge cap in transmutes?
Right.
And so I started doing that. And that was around, honestly, the same time I jumped into the official Discord. And I started seeing people asking about transmutes and stuff. So I said, well, there's no one doing it. I dug through guru guides, messaged ACM saying, hey, this is what I'm working on right now. Do you mind giving me guru guides so I can post it? Eventually, because I didn't want to post an incomplete thing. But as I was working on it, people kept asking more and more about it. And I was saying, hey, I'm working on something, like give it some time. It's a big undertaking. And then I said, kind of, you know what? There's enough people asking. I'll throw it out as a live document. And that's what's in Guru Guides now. Then,
That's awesome.
honestly, I knew that wasn't going to be the end of it because I didn't like how it looked. I knew I could do better. So that's how the character sheets came to be. And it's eating up a lot more time than the original spreadsheet.
Yeah, yeah. The first time I created content for a game, it's been a couple of years now. It kind of evolved the same way for me. Started with a spreadsheet, it always does, and then you're like, how could I make a visual representation of this? I've never made a graphic in my life. Like, how can I learn this and like make it where people can, I think, digest it better. And I made a set of character cards for that game, and it involved kind of similar to transmutes. I think there were like these little
Refines?
glyphs, I think is what it
Oh,
was
okay.
called. It's been a while since I played the game, and it's a defunct game at this point, but there were glyphs that you could put on your champions, and they had like different set bonuses and things like that. So it was very very similar setup to what you're doing. So I definitely respect that, and I like that your spreadsheet is kind of coming to life with the character cards. There are a lot of people who would say that they don't care about the character cards; they just want to see the raw
Yeah.
data in the transmute spreadsheet. So I know that you still have a live link to the spreadsheet, and we'll definitely make sure that that is included in the description of this video. I want to figure out a way to feature some of that guide content of yours on my Discord server. Obviously, we know it's on the official Discord server as well. So a lot of ways that you can find the transmute spreadsheet and also those character cards. I know you guys on the channel know that I've put together a website for the game. We'll probably end up trying to feature some of this on the website as well. I have a link to Voca's guide spreadsheet on the game, which is like kind of the master spreadsheet we all
Yeah.
follow,
Yeah.
I think, at this point. And I'll see if I can throw a link to your transmute guide on there as well. But really want to make sure that we're spreading this information out to the wider audience, because the interesting thing about transmutes is it, as of today, it really is kind of a whale, not
Yeah.
maybe not necessarily whale, but you've got to have a long term invested account
Yep.
for transmutes to really matter. I've been playing my account since December 27th, roughly, on server 204. And obviously, transmutes weren't really a thing for the first couple of months of that, but pretty much since global launch and a little before that. So I've been investing in them for quite a while, and I only have a few that are at level 3. I don't You don't have any level 5s yet, do you?
No, no. I funny enough, so I kind of wish I picked a better character to run tests, to just find
Yeah.
the values. But my Scarecrow has my highest transmuted gear. It's his helmet at level 4, and I saw the number for the experience, and I said, you know what, I'm going to deviate because
Yeah.
it's such a, I mean, the old system, right? Let's talk the old system real quick. It
Yeah,
was,
let's do it.
you had a chance of luck, right? Where you could hit a mythic roll and you could sit on it. But with
Right.
this new system that they introduced, kind of a little bit out of the ordinary, but to me, it makes sense, right? They want transmutes to be the end game chase. And we're at that point where more than half of the servers are at that end game chase. It's just a matter of finding materials for it.
Yep.
But the set bonuses, I always knew that would be a pipe dream considering the percentage. Like it's so much worse than
Yeah.
people actually realize, right? And the fact that they introduced a guarantee to it really helps, but it's still not a great number for the guarantee.
It's not. I know we looked at, I think, Arkalux. He's gotten managed to get a couple of set bonuses, and I
Hmm.
think there are a couple of other whales who have posted theirs.
Yep.
Obviously, we have the ability to see what those set bonuses are. There's another thing that I was clowning myself, I think, a little bit talking to you the other day, that I just really didn't even think to look for the information on the set bonuses in the game, because obviously, like, the little eye, like, that's the thing that you harp on, right? Like, it's like, if you just click the eye, it will show you everything you need to know about whatever system you're asking about. But I never thought to click it because I didn't care. Like,
Oh yeah.
clearly I'd have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get there. And Arkaluk was just lamenting that, it took so much time just to get it. I think he has a handful now, maybe. Does he have his Supergirl finished? He was showing me some of it the other day.
I think he
Um,
just started on it, to be honest.
yeah, I know he's gotten a set bonus, but he was talking about trying to switch to Superman maybe soon. And it's just crazy that, like, one of the biggest spenders in the game
Yeah.
has one set bonus for transmutes. That kind of, I think, sets the tone for where we're at with it. Obviously, it's clear that they've put this bottleneck in place because they don't want too many people to get there yet.
Hmm.
And so, like, obviously they're going to be adding something at some point down the road that will make it easier to get, I guess, the hopefully
Yeah.
TM, uh, like, hopefully there's going to be a way for us to get more mirror cells and just more of the intertrons and other ways for us to actually utilize the system that's in place. Either that, or maybe they'll expand the system. In the beta of the game, and I hate to draw parallels back to that because it really was a completely different game, but there was a more robust transmute and gear system.
I
And
heard.
so, like, I mean, and you got to think about, like, all the other games that have been successful in this genre. They have a very, very robust gear system.
Hmm.
Obviously, like, Raid Shadow Legends isn't really like a analog to this game, but that crazy gear system there. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has a really good gear system. I haven't played the other Fun Plus games, but I've been told that there are pretty decent gear systems there as well. So probably very pay to win, I'm sure, but
So I
just
I
give
played.
us a way to.
Yeah.
Did you play was it State of Survival?
I did. I did. So I was on. Well, they call them states for the servers. I was on state like 30 something or 40 something. So I was like real in early, and I
Wow.
played for a year and a half or two. Um, there was some depth, and there were also areas where it was like okay, this is just kind of a slog and definitely pay to win, but you could get around it pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not the worst game I've played in terms of gear depth. There was one that I was honestly super competitive in. Like I made it to, I was a qualifier for like an international stage competition for it. Super nerdy, I know.
Wow.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. But it was very much like, okay, you had your gear piece, you can refine it up to the max stat that it could roll, and then on top of that, you could kind of do transmute like we have now, and then on top of that, you could do another currency thing where you can max out. Like if you got the stat that you wanted to transmute, you can max it out with as
Yeah.
well. So it was a very much like
That's
tier system, kind of like how Beta did tiered force.
yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that tracks. I know when I was huge into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it was like every Saturday morning I would wake up and just spend at least a couple of hours going through all of my gear, trying to like fish for speed because speed was the most important thing. Kind of like energy gain, I think, for this game. But I would just fish for speed stat bonuses, and then you had like datacrons, which were like seasonal things that you could add on top of the gear. There's just like tons of different ways that you can augment your champions, and at the highest level of PvP, which by the time this video releases, I'll probably have released the video that I'm putting together for Meta Brawl. Arcalux sent me some footage that's just bonkers. I think it's going to change the meta
oh yeah,
in the next few months. Like it's actually like he's a genius for coming up with it. So you guys will, if you watch that video already, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, uh, like just at the end game, like the highest levels of PvP, the whole, like the way you're going to beat somebody is okay. Well, it's pretty obvious they just transmuted a piece of gear on their Deathstroke. So like the way I'm gonna have to beat them is to basically I'm gonna have to match that. I'm gonna
oh
have
yeah.
to transmute my Deathstroke now, or like if you're doing a mirror match. But you're definitely gonna have to like have that back and forth. I think so. Having a more robust system for that is gonna make people enjoy the game more down the road.
Honestly, it was kind of wild. So I really enjoy climbing training sim. I'm on
Yeah,
I'm stuck at 1550. It's 5 Supermans. I don't want to talk about it.
man.
But
I'm on 1510, so
but there was a level, and this was before the training sim adjustment.
yeah,
It was 5 Deathstrokes, and this was before big super fam, right? It was only Superman.
right, yeah,
So I was running my usual, which was like, like more or less Constantine and friends, right? But
yeah.
my Constantine kept getting jumped and immediately killed. So I actually went in and transmuted Meta Brawl style transmutes on him so that he could get one ult off.
Wow.
And it pained me a lot, like an unbelievable amount, because I'm like, I'm wasting this, but then I gave it some more thought. Like, that honestly makes sense. He's more often than not at the time going to be the first one jumped in a
Yep.
Deathstroke matchup, right? Like
Yep.
we see it in Meta Brawl. So I was like, okay, I can justify it that way. It works here in PvE, and it also works over on the PvP side.
Yeah. Well, no, it's actually interesting. I mean, the whole like the way Constantine's kit is designed is to try to give him
Yep.
some additional protection against physical damage. Like it's literally the kit was written. And, I mean, obviously, like they wrote it this way, I'm sure. But it's like, hey, we want Deathstroke to just destroy Constantine, but we'll give him a way to maybe survive. So like we'll just make all of his force talents associated with surviving against Deathstroke. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it honestly caught me by surprise when I first saw it. I'm like, wait, they gave all defensive force to a damage dealer. What are they expecting to happen? Oh, okay, that's what happens. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
No, it does. And to your point on like that, my first foray into transmuting stuff, I was trying to hold back. I was like, man, these mirror cells are super important. I don't want to blow them on something stupid. And then what did I do? I was chasing Justice League Dark, Realm of Fate training sim, and I got to a point where I was gonna overtake, I think, like the 10th place person, and I just like saw blood in the water, and I was like, if I just use all of my mirror cells on like Raven's gear so that she could heal a little bit more, or if I just like if I gave Dr. Fate a little bit more for something, and I'm just like chasing mirror, like using mirror cells on gear that I had no business using it on, by the way. It was like un untag synergy gear, and like I'm still trying to fix that on my account now. I've got like probably 15 or 20 pieces that are like, how, like, who the hell's going to use that? You know.
Yeah.
So but it was, I that was when I realized like transmutes are the way of the future for like how we're going to be able to differentiate our teams. Like it's not going to be just like, all right, oh, that's a mirror match, clearly we know who's going to win. It's going to be who transmuted their gear the best. You know, stars are going to matter to an extent, but then you know, I've seen plenty of matches and setups where the stars matter way less than the gear and transmute. So again, like bringing it full circle, I just feel like your work with the transmute guide that you're putting together and these character cards is really important for the player base over time. I mean, a lot of people might be kind of like disregarding that element of things today, but you're going to, I would say regret it, but you're going to be very happy that you're going to have some of these resources out there. And definitely we've got Raven at the forefront of that. So
It's interesting, right? Because you won't realize that that's something you need to look at until you hit the biggest wall that you've hit while playing the game. Like,
yep.
stars have a limit. The levels have a limit presently, right?
Right.
So the only way to overcome that next stage is gonna be your gear. I mean,
Yeah.
we tell people in the official server all the time. It's like when they ask like, "Hey, I'm stuck at this and I can't pull anymore." It's like, start crafting gear, right? Like that's your next
Yeah.
big jump, and then the transmute's just like that little bit extra that you need to just kind of crest. That's all you need, right? It's just
It is. And I think, you know, the other element of this is the tag synergies on gear too. You know, so like if again, you know, obviously transmuting the gear is going to help a ton, but if you don't have a piece of level 500 tag synergy gear on the champion, even if you just have like and I noticed this with, I forget which, it might have actually been my Justice League Dark team, but I think my Constantine is around 3 purple stars. I realized like once I started getting some Justice League Dark tag synergy gear on him that it actually like kind of almost brings him up into yellow star damage dealing capability range by having that tag synergy gear on him. Just it's such a significant change. And then just having like level 1 transmute on top of that, especially if you could transmute, let's say attack, or if you're lucky enough to get like a spiritual amp or something, it definitely scales like insane for him. So
tagged pieces. I hate the chase. I hate it so much, especially since they just added Amazons to the pool, and you're just. It was super
man,
fam tags at first, and now it's Amazon tags that I'm getting. Like, this unit doesn't even exist. It's not even a
well,
twinkle in the eye.
not to go a little bit off topic from our, you know, from what we're mainly discussing today, but I've seen a couple of complaints from folks about stuff like the Darkest Timeline, where the more champions that get added to the game, the more difficult it is to complete pretty much any of the milestones there, because it's just so hard to draw from a pool of champions that you want. Like, how do you build just Justice League Dark, or how do you build just Legion of Doom when you've got like, you know, 60, 70, 80, we have over 100 champions to choose from? It's going to
Oh
be a
yeah.
lot harder, and they're going to have to make some changes to way those game modes work. And I think the same thing applies to gear, where, you know, if you're trying to pull for a specific piece, it's very difficult to do now. you're going to have to cycle through and use a lot more alloy to try to get it. And I've been fishing for the last few pieces of Superman family gear for Crypto and Superboy, and it is painstaking.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm starting to get some of the Amazonian gear, just gearing up for when that team is fully viable. And I feel like they're just going to be full of like Guardians and and Warriors, so it's like you're going to need a lot of that.
Yeah.
I've gotten one piece for Hippolyta, and and now that gear is in the same pool as Superman and Supergirl, so I think I need one piece for Supergirl still. So it's just like you said, the chase is just never ending, and it's getting worse. I did appreciate that they added the ability to use the building blocks to buy like up to 10 pieces at a time, but it's so expensive.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I spent several 100,000 building blocks
Yeah.
fishing for the stuff like day one, and I was like, I don't think this is efficient
No,
because like
I did the exact same thing, and it took me way too long to realize that resets with the shop. So
Yeah.
you could do it 3 times a day.
yeah.
It's like all those building blocks we got for 35 Armory out the window.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows what I can do with it next? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, I hate that because I mean, this game is the basis of this game is hoarding.
Yep.
That took me several months to realize at the very beginning, before global launch and really even after global launch. Like, I really don't want to have to hoard every single resource. And I had a couple of sit down chats with some folks who've played these types of games before, who said like, you're going to ruin your account if you don't start hoarding. And did an interview with Sekju. I don't know if you've run into him too much. Another beta player who like, he's kind of like the godfather, I would say, of like trying to explain to people how important it is to hoard for Supreme Commander. And like we sat down before I did the recording with him, and he was like, you got to start doing it. And it's like you just feel stupid, I think, for not having done it in the first place. But definitely hate that I don't have a lot of building blocks anymore, because I just know they're going to like, some sort of system's going to come up. Oh, you remember those building blocks that you used?
We know what the system's called. It's called Block Fusion. It was in one of the newsletters. We just don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember that. I remember thinking that it never got implemented into the game. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect in the next couple of months as far as those systems go. I feel like there's a lot of content that won't be transmute related that's going to be coming in the next few months. But I am excited to see what comes in the next 6, 8, 10 months for transmute. So
I already have updates planned. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna finish this version and then immediately start revising for the next iteration of the character sheets and everything again. Just because as the time goes on with the game, we find out more information, right? Just there's plenty of people in the community that are deep diving, and then I'm lucky enough to be talking to a couple of them, and they just let me know. And one of the things I honestly completely crashed out about when I was told, because it just flipped everything that I've been doing on its head a little bit, just because it doesn't make sense why they coded it that way, but it's fine. It's just some edits here and there, adding a percent in some places and taking it away in others. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's honestly one of the biggest things with transmutes is, and gonna be the next big monumental project, is understanding how stats actually work, because we don't have an API. The devs refuse to give us information.
I've tried.
Yeah.
I have tried so many times to get an API.
I mean, we're seeing in the Q&A, right? The API questions come up like 3-4 times now.
Yeah.
A
lot of people that want to get it, I can see the argument for why they won't provide it to us.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of an industry standard, like, hey, we're not doing an API, quit asking. But it would be nice to get it. And it's just, I think the question is, and I love to work with you or whoever else has a big enough brain to come up with this, but like, trying to reverse engineer like the information that we do have, and trying to like come up with, whatever calculations they're using will be definitely interesting, and I think a lot of people will appreciate it. So
Oh, there's a think tank on it, and any we all have our ideas of what it is, and then we go into testing, and then the numbers completely off. We're like, wait, how? Where? Where's the three go? You know?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've done some napkin math, I would call it, some very like rudimentary math to try to figure out a few things. And I mean, I've had some success with some of the things that I've tried to come up with, but it's going to, like you said, a think tank. It's going to require a large group of people trying to put their heads together to figure it out. I've thought about ways of like, okay, well, what if you had a fresh account where you just acquired all these champions and didn't level them up, or you leveled up a champion 1 star at a time, and you're testing like, all right, what do the numbers look like? Like, we really need someone to map, on a, like I said, on a fresh account where you don't have any of the global skills or anything to like muck the waters up. What does it look like to take each champion up one at a time? But it's, without a test account, it's kind of difficult to do that. So
That is honestly what the path is looking like right now, to some degree, because
yeah,
a lot of us that are doing this, we're in very mature accounts, like you mentioned, right? So
yep.
we have global skills that factor into things. We have transmutes, we have stars, and let's be real. Like, did you pay attention to the stats that came up when you start up a unit?
Not much.
Yeah.
I'm just clicking the button.
And that's the number that matters, because that's your
Yeah.
base value that everything is calculated off of.
Yep.
And if you don't pay attention to what that trend is per star, good luck.
Yep.
Absolutely good luck.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we do have I think some things that I'm sure people are considering, which is, if you go into that back end system on when you're starring up, you can see the percentages that the percent increases per star,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like the 3 3 12 3 3 or whatever, what have you. So like, we do have some things that kind of like tell us, like guide us in terms of like what the increases are going to be, but there's still some other squirrely stuff in the behind the scenes, and there's all these different stats that they've been very secretive about. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it took an act of Congress, which I guess that's actually quite difficult these days. But
In the U.S. In the
um,
U.S.
yeah, in the U.S., but it took a like a Herculean effort to get the devs to try to like put all of that into one place and give us a little bit more information on what some of those stats mean. Like, we were going to Naira and like, hey,
Yeah.
Naira, tell us what this means, and we finally like broke the code on a decent amount of it. But yeah, just a lot of stuff still to figure out. So like, we're in the infancy of this game, which is kind of exciting for,
People
I
don't
think, data analyst
understand that.
minds.
It's the
Yeah.
craziest thing. It's like, guys, we're only 6 months in,
Yeah.
which is by
Yeah.
itself, it's like, holy cow, we're 6 months in. But
Yeah. Yeah. Time is flying, but it's also kind of standing still in terms of just like the development of the game. I mean, the games like this that last for a long time, and obviously Fun Plus has a vested interest in keeping this game around for years to come. It's like you're going to be blown away when you look back,
oh yeah.
years from now, and like, hey, like, I was complaining about XYZ things, and like, little did I know it was going to be changed. Like, we know that from announcements that have been made in the past, that there's like 200 champions that are just like sitting in a basement somewhere, waiting to come into the game. That obviously the design isn't there. They probably don't have like, the actors haven't recorded voice lines and things like that, and they do adjust the kits. But just knowing that there's like a long pipeline of things that are already developed for the game, just like excites me for these elements like transmutes that kind of like take some brain power to figure out. I have complained a little bit about things like not having manual mode, but honestly, if I like try to take a step back and like, all right, well, I still want to enjoy the game, and I do enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy more of like the numbers and like analysis side of it than than clicking the buttons. You just kind of like have to reprogram yourself, I think, for that kind of stuff.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree with you. And in terms of the 200 characters, I hope we see the day. Um, and if anyone from WB or Fun Plus is watching, can I voice someone? That'd be really cool. I have a decent set.
Hey, I'll
Like,
do it too. Just like give me some random goon, like,
oh yeah,
you know,
Clown Squad. Let's go.
yeah, like I don't care. Just like the weirdest character in the game, I'll do it. I think it would be really cool. But well, I really enjoyed speaking with you today. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I'd love to do this again. It's been really fun to kind of talk through transmutes. I don't. Do you have any closing comments? Like, where can people find you?
Thanks for having me, and I would love to be on again. Right now, I think I have a Twitter handle up. It should be Raven HRT DCDL. I'd have to check with someone in terms of that's correct, but I think it is. I'm on the official Reddit posting on there as well, and I am a moderator in the official Discord server. So plenty of places
Well, you
to
got
reach
your
me
hands.
up.
Yeah, plenty of ways to get a hold of Raven if you want to ask questions about transmutes, or if you want to take a look at his guides. Again, I mentioned that his guides are going to be on the Guru Guides section of the official Discord, which is probably one of the easiest ways to get like a clean copy of some of those guides without a lot of clutter or anything like that. A lot of places you get a lot of comments and things like that. But we will find ways to get that transmute spreadsheet and other of your guides and content out to the masses. Can't recommend Ravenheart enough for transmutes and that area of the game, but everything else as well. Very knowledgeable guy. I was going to say you have your hands not tied, but you got your work cut out for you as a mod. I've done it for a couple of months, and it was very rewarding experience, but definitely a lot of work as well. So really appreciate you doing that for the community too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's going to wrap up this this kind of like, I guess, community spotlight episode with Ravenheart. If you haven't already done so, definitely consider subscribing to my channel and also to anywhere that you can find Ravenheart out there. I know you're looking at maybe potentially doing some YouTube content in the future. Definitely go catch him on Twitch if you can catch him for a stream as well. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.